Hey YouTube, it's JP Dillon. Today we're looking at this Kenwood kd-5070 that was brought in by a customer. And there's two major complaints. First and foremost, the cable isn't really a good choice here anymore. We need to fix the emblem. The head shell he provided to me, although the cartridge is an old Pickering like an XV15 with a wrong stylus in it, which is chewed up. So he just wants a budget cartridge. We'll probably put like an Ortofon OM5E on it or something like that. Also, the speed's really touchy because all the speed potentiometers over here need to be cleaned. The armrest needs to be raised up a little bit. The cueing needs to be adjusted. The arm needs to be adjusted. We'll clean up the dust cover too. But, I mean, overall, I mean, it's in pretty nice shape. He only paid $10 for it. The guy, like, really scored. So even after all the services and everything, he's going to be way ahead. So the first thing we're going to do is replace the cable. So let's go ahead and get the mat off. Let's get the platter off. And then after we do that, let's set this over here. We'll put a pad underneath this so we don't screw up the dust cover anymore, and then we'll take the bottom off. Alright, so once you got it on its top, remove the 6 perimeter screws on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, along with the dust cover hinge screws for there and strain relief screws to there. And then you will have to tilt this up a little bit and slide your strain reliefs out. Just push them out. I need 2 hands for this, but these slide down as you tilt back and lift this off. And here's what you're looking at when you get the bottom cover off. Now, you could do the proactive thing if you want to and replace these electrolytics here. There's a total of 5 of them. They rarely ever go bad. I've never seen ones actually bad yet. And then there's more on the motor board here. You can recap that if you'd like, but again, it's rare to see them leaky or bad on this model. At least I haven't seen any yet. Also, if you have an ESR meter, check the continuity of these micro switches. These ones I've already tested and they're okay. So we're just going to leave them be. Otherwise they do get lossy and then you have to kind of find a replacement because they have that weird style plunger on them. But really what we're going to focus on here is just cleaning these 2 switches. And I just got some neutral 401B. We're going to spritz a little bit in here in each one and working back and forth about 50 times. And then once we're done with that, then we'll focus on replacing the cable. Alright, so we're just going to spritz them in here. Just like that. I'm going to need 2 hands because I have to hold the deck while I rotate the pots with my hand. So after you've sprayed a little bit in each pot, I'm just going to lift this up and just work these back and forth about 50 times. You'll feel them start to loosen up a little bit when the contact cleaner does its thing. But this is pretty straightforward here. Sorry this is not totally on camera, but that's how I got it set up right now. So I'll just work these back and forth until you get them all cleaned up. And then that's pretty straightforward as far as cleaning the pots on this. The thing that isn't so straightforward is replacing the cable, because we have to break loose the old strain relief, very carefully pry those edges apart, and then we need to size up our new cable and internally ground it as well, which means you're going to want some of the original ground cable to tie all the grounds to chassis. And I'll show you what that's like after I'm done, but we'll just essentially desolder this old cable, noting where everything goes. It's going to be minus plus from left to right. And also check here. On occasion, those contacts get bent and the machine will not unmute itself. That's another problem that occurs. Also make sure that all your return flip-flops are free moving, like this guy here, this guy here, this guy here. They should all be free moving. If they're not free moving, this, and this piece here, also this piece here, If those aren't free moving, you have to very carefully remove the spring and clip, clean out the grease, and put new machine oil in there. But for the most part, these are pretty trouble-free. So let me go ahead and replace that cable, and then I'll show you what the finished product looks like. So in case you haven't figured it out yet, in order to get this apart, there's that clip there. See that clip that fits into that hole, which you see from this side. So you really need two screwdrivers, one to pry apart while you push on that clip to release it. And then it does come out and fall to the floor, never to be found again. Yeah, it's down there somewhere. I'll get it in a second. But the important thing is use a cable that's close to the original. I like these Multicomp Pro RCA cables. There's the part number 24-12522. These are almost extinct. I have a bunch of these left, but they're almost gone, and I haven't found anybody that carries them. If you're not using the cable, they are an 1/8" stereo to RCA, so they're handy. If you are using them, you can cut the 1/8" off, and they make for a great stereo cable for the turntable. Also, you can use the jacketing for Studer pimples on duals, but you didn't hear that from me. So anyways, let me get that cable off there now. Okay, so we got our old cable off here. That's kind of what it looks like. Blue is left negative, white's left positive, green's right negative, and red's right positive. And I left a little bit of the ground wire here because we are going to tie the left and right grounds to chassis ground to unify them all. And that makes for a much easier install. Most of the time a little bit less hum. Some people would argue otherwise, but I've had more success unifying the grounds than having a separate one. If it becomes a problem, then you undo it and you make a separate one. It's not really all that difficult. But this requires two hands, so let me go ahead and solder up the new cable, and then we'll attach and unify the grounds, and I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Alright folks, so there it is. And you can see that I've got them spread out a little bit. Try to. The positives are isolated from the negatives. The negatives are tied together to ground so that we all have one unified ground. And I put it back in the internal strain relief. So now it's just a matter of getting it to fit in the external strain relief. Which sucks a little bit because sometimes you do have to trim off a tiny bit of the strain relief in order to get it to work. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second here. So when you go to fit the new cable in there, this one's fine. It's just I can almost close it completely with my hand. But some of them will be like open to here. In that case, your cable is probably too fat. But in case you don't want to spring for the right kind of cable, you can shave down that bump in there. That bump in the middle, that's part of your strain relief. You can shave that down. I recommend just getting the same thickness as the old cable. But yeah, so let me put this together and then we'll pop it back together. Okay, we got everything buttoned back up. Now it's time to deal with the cartridge. And I've just got a little OM5E I'm going to give them. Let's get that mounted on the head shell. Alright, so I got our cartridge mounted here. You can see we got a nice OM5E on it. Arms dialed in. So I'm not going to be able to play more in about a second because, you know, copyright noises. But let's go ahead and see what she does. Yep, that's all you're going to get out of it. But as we can see, strobe nice and steady. Really lift it and bring it to the end. Picks up and turns itself back off. So that's great. So everything's happy and working. So now all we have to do is clean it up. And yes, I'm sure many of you have realized there's no arm latch there because that piece is broken. So we're just going to use a twist tie to hold it in place while we do the cleaning. Alright, so after some Novus number 2 action, it cleaned up a little bit. Well, this has got some pretty deep scratches in it, notably right there and on the side. Some swirl marks. I think the platter was bouncing around in here. It's amazing the arm didn't get hurt. But yeah, so I'm just gonna attach the emblem back on there with some high strength glue, quick drying, and we'll play it some, but this thing is realistically done. So I hope that was informative to you guys that want to replace the cable on your 5070. It's pretty straightforward, but yeah, that's it for this one. More stuff to come. Thanks for watching.